Hi folks, Heartmaker44 here again. Excuse the voice, I'm getting a cold or something. Anyway, this is a short video, I hope, to help some people use swords from a seated position, especially in a wheelchair. This is my grandmother's wheelchair. I don't require one just yet, but who knows, so maybe in my future. There's a road right there about 70 yards away, so there's a lot of car noise as traffic goes up and down that. I've arranged my camcorder so I hope that is minimized, as well as noise from the wind blowing on the microphone itself. We'll find out. This is a test video. The sword I'm going to be using is the Chosan or Chosun, I forget which account he introduced this on. Ninja, this is the limited edition Ninja To. It is a great sword. I love it. Being limited edition, I'm not going to be using it for Tameshigiri or any actual cutting operations, probably, although, knowing me, I'll probably do it anyway. At any rate, this is a Ninja To that is very close to a standard wakizashi, Japanese sword length. That was the shorter sword of the two swords normally worn by samurai. Okay, I'm just winging it off the top of my head, as is very apparent. Okay, the short blade. This particular blade, let me draw the sword out. This particular blade, this is number 6 in the limited series. I measured this at 22 7/8 inches from the tsuba to the point along the back of the blade. Since it's not a curved blade, you don't have to worry about that in measuring it. The handle, the ska, is 10.5 inches from the tsuba down to the end of the now I forget the Japanese term, but we wouldn't in English, butt cap of the handle or ska. This sword is just balanced. I love it. Anyway, this is a drawing and sheathing video for Chairbound. And I'll start from this point. I've seen people, a number of people, not just one, resheath their sword by actually looking into the sheath itself, the saya, and trying to sheath the sword in this way. It can be done that way, but doing so places the hand holding the sheath at risk. These swords are incredibly sharp. I can't shave with this one. I don't think you can shave with most katanas. You don't want to. Got a big puff of wind. I hope you can still hear me. But if your attention is distracted for something, it's easy to miss this opening. That's why the standard noto or sheathing, which is done in a vertical operation, you can do it from a chair, but it's difficult because in a wheelchair, normally your arm guards are quite high, and the koiguchi, the mouth that you're going to be sheathing into, is higher than if you were wearing the sword on a belt, as is normally done. So I'll try it this way. You know, you can do it, but it's just kind of clumsy. It's easier to sheath the sword horizontally. After you get through doing your kata, whatever that might be. You can do your favorite chiburi, or not. The chiburi is something that it's added primarily for appearance. It's cool, don't get me wrong. I love it. A good, sharp, snappy chiburi is a sight to behold. In a wheelchair, I don't know if I would recommend it, because your legs are too vulnerable. They're all out in front of you, so anything that you would do probably should be off to the side. Whatever. That's not the reason for this video. Hold the sheath, the saya, so the mouth is flat, it's horizontal. It's with the ground there. When you do your chiburi, or just bring it back in, I'm getting ahead of myself again, sorry. Hold your index finger so it is underneath the mouth of the saya, the koiguchi. You want it to literally be a shelf that the back of the sword will ride on. The sword is brought into your finger. Now keep in mind, the back of the blade is not sharp on a normal katana or ninjato. They might have double-edged blades someplace, I don't know. But historically, you only have one sharp edge. And that is always facing away from you, toward the enemy, toward the opponent. Even in the sheathing, Noto process. Bring the sword in till it's touching that finger. You can then draw the sword along that finger. You can also move the saya out from your body at the same time if your sword is longer than a wakizashi or the ninjato. But always keep the mouth of the koiguchi in line near your sternum. You don't want it to go out sideways like this, because if the mouth ever, I hope you can see it on the video, if the mouth is not pointing toward the tsuba, it's at the wrong angle for the, okay, I'll remove my finger so you can actually see it drop. Well, I use my thumb. You see the point of the sword drop into the koiguchi. When you're doing this, you can actually feel it thunk, and you can hear it if you don't have traffic noise. Sorry. So yeah, for safety's sake, the edge is always away from you. You bring the back of the blade into your finger, slide it along until you feel or hear, or initially when you're learning this stuff, watch it. You will see it fall into the koiguchi. At that point, swing the sword around and sheath. In the case of this ninjato, the habaki, the actual piece of metal at the base of the sword, let's see, what are they calling this? In English, the blade sleeve. This is what provides a tight fit in the saya, in the koiguchi, in the mouth. With this particular sword, it is a very tight fit. So you have to give it a final to get it into the saya, which is a good thing. To get it out, it will not fall out in a, now if you shake it, it might, hard. But the way that you normally draw the sword is when you anticipate drawing a sword, you use your thumb to push out on the tsuba to loosen the sword so that it can be drawn rapidly. Same thing when you don't, when you sheath the sword, you don't slam it. Draw it out. You can also draw in a horizontal position too. It's beautiful for making a horizontal cut. can be done very rapidly. The one thing you don't want to do is slam the sword home. The doing so will eventually cause wear and tear on the koiguchi. It will loosen up the fit of the sword in the saya, and that's not good. It can fall out. And did I mention these things are incredibly sharp? You don't want this going where you don't want it to. After you practice this for a while, you can do it without looking at the sword or the saya or the koiguchi, that's what you're after, because all of these techniques go back to practical applications of battle. When you draw a sword, even when you resheath a sword, sheath, there's no resheathing. The noto, you might have opponents still in front of you. For whatever reason you want to sheath your sword, not to appear dangerous, unfriendly. Wow. I'm just looking at my contraption around my camcorder. If that caught a good breath of wind, it could blow it over. Wouldn't want that. So I'll hurry up. You always maintain eye contact, or at least visual contact, if you have multiple opponents, when you sheath your sword. But yet at the same time, this technique, even though I'm looking right at the camcorder, I'm not looking at the saya, I'm not looking at the blade, I'm looking at my opponents, or potential opponents, so that if I need to, I can get that sword out and protect myself. In doing so, but it's safer. My main point is it's safer doing this. There's nothing sharp here. The only thing you have to worry about is the point of the sword. When you're practicing this, if you mess up and you get the angle wrong, instead of the sword being like this, it's like this. And you don't feel it move in. Don't say, oh, I missed it, I gotta go back, and then shove the sword back in. Don't do that. That's very dangerous. If you do that, if you don't feel it or hear it or see it fall in, continue the drawing motion away, know that something messed up, and then correct it. Bring the saya back into your sternum, start over. I hope this is valuable to someone. Handle properly, Japanese swords, a single-edged sword in this fashion is very safe to handle. It's very safe to sheath. And it is so cool that you don't have to look at the koiguchi, the sheath at all to do it. It does require practice, like anything. Practice. Thanks for watching, folks. Catch you later.